What's up guys, my name is Bri Ogletree if you don't already know who I am, and in this video I'm going to be explaining the benefits of following a training program versus following random workouts. If this is your first time hopping onto my channel, my name is Bri Ogletree. I'm a Philadelphia-based personal trainer as well as online fitness coach for women, teaching women how to strength train effectively in order to get a little bit leaner and feel better in their bodies. So let's first talk about the difference between random workouts and a training program. With random workouts, you are basically doing random workouts. They're not planned ahead of time. There's no real methodology or progression to them. And you're kind of just picking them as you choose to go to the gym or choose to work out. And there's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you're just trying to get some movement in, trying to exercise, but they're pretty much random for the most part. You're kind of just choosing exercises maybe that you like, or based off of, they may be more intelligently picked. I know when I go on vacation, I kind of randomly pick my workouts. I don't really stick to my training program because when I'm traveling, it's harder to do that. So like I just went on this cruise a week ago. The workouts that I were doing, they were random, but they were kind of more intelligently picked. Like I was picking exercises that were going to target all major muscle groups. But again, they weren't part of my training program. They were kind of more just to get me to exercise and to get me to move while I was away from home. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with doing random workouts. But the thing with random workouts is because you're switching up your workouts so often, it's really hard to gauge what your progress actually is, whether you're actually getting stronger, whether you're actually doing more volume of work. That's how we actually, get stronger, get fitter, and get to our goals. We need to make sure that we're progressing our workouts, from week to week or from month to month. And with doing random workouts, doing random things all the time, it's really hard to gauge that progress. Another challenge that might come up with doing random workouts is those workouts may not be exactly in line with the actual goal that you have, the actual fitness goal that you have. So say for instance, you are looking to compete in a powerlifting meet or something like that. If you're doing random workouts from week to week, one of those workouts may be a plyometric workout, where you're doing a lot of jumping type movement, a lot of body weight, high rep type exercises. If you're training for a meet, that type of workout is probably not going to be conducive to you lifting as much weight in the squat, bench, and deadlift as you want. So that's another challenge that comes up with doing random workouts. A similar challenge may also come up with more aesthetic goals, like trying to lose body fat. Like I was saying, it's hard to gauge progress, and with fat loss, higher volume type workouts or training programs tend to be more conducive to fat loss. But it's hard to gauge what your actual volume is if you're doing, random workouts that are always switching up. It's kind of hard to gauge that total workout volume. So it's just going to be a little bit harder to try to figure out what you need to tweak in your training to help you get closer to your goal. And again, with doing random workouts, there may be some types of workouts that are not so conducive to fat loss or, building muscle. Like for instance, 1 rep max testing. That's probably not the best workout for you if you're trying to drop some body fat or gain some muscle mass. You're going to be needing to do more of like hypertrophy work in that case. So yeah, that also poses a challenge for more aesthetic type goals. So we talked about random workouts. Let's talk about more of training program, like what a training program actually looks like. So with the training program, there's definitely a methodology that is followed, and it's usually a 4 to 8, maybe 12 week progression of workouts that follow a methodology. With the training program, there's like some type of, end goal or goal in mind when programming workouts, and it's usually a group of workouts that you follow, at least 4 weeks at a time, maybe three to 4 weeks at the minimum, that generally stay the same. The only thing that's going to change is how you're progressing those workouts week to week. There is also a reason why you're doing the specific workouts that you're doing, and that goes back to whatever your goal is. So you're specifically training for whatever goal you have in mind, whether that be fat loss, muscle gain, trying to get stronger, trying to get faster, whatever type of goal it is. There's a reason why you're doing the workouts that you're doing, and you're following them for a set period of time, trying to progress them over that period of time. The benefit to training this way is because it's a lot easier to see what your progress is actually looking like. You can go literally from week to week and see how much weight you lifted, how many reps you did, how fast your time was on a certain run or sprint or something like that. It's a lot easier to gauge progress and see kind of where you need to tweak things, or just like adjust your programming to get you closer to your goal. This process is pretty much called periodization. It's what personal trainers and exercise scientists learn when they go to school, how to actually program workouts that are specific to whatever sport goal or aesthetic goal or fitness goal that you have. We pretty much learn all these variables on how to adjust things and program things so that it takes you closer to what your actual goal is. Following a training program does not have to be like this super complicated thing. I actually have a free guide out right now, just the basics of how to put a strength training program together. If you've been looking, you're not really sure how to put one together, definitely get this guide. I'll link it in the comments below. Just a free guide, few things that you can do to get a solid strength training program together. But I'll give you a few of the variables right now. I'll give you a few of the guidelines right now just to get you started. The first thing is just to figure out, number one, what your goal is. You need to know what your goal is in order to make any type of training program. I'm specifically going to talk about strength training, just general strength training to, maybe get a little bit leaner, a little bit stronger. But yeah, first things first, figure out what your actual goal is. The second thing is going to be to figure out how many days per week you actually have to train, and to actually be honest with this number. So if it's only 1 to 2 days per week, that's fine. You can actually program a pretty effective training program for 1 to 2 days per week. Just keep in mind that your progress may not be as steady or as quick as training more than that, training 3 to maybe 4 days per week, but you'll still see some progress. So yeah, just be honest with this number, and then we'll go from there. Once you figure out, how many days per week you are going to train, figure out the types of workouts you're going to do. So this is going to be more dependent on how many days per week you can train. So generally, most clients that I work with, they usually have anywhere from 2 to 4 days per week to dedicate to training. So I program according to the time that they have allotted, just to be as effective as possible. So if you do have 2 days per week, I would strongly suggest to you that you do full body strength training workouts, just because you are hitting multiple muscle groups multiple times per week. And this is really what is going to drive stimulus for you to get stronger, get a little bit leaner, and actually have your body adapt to the training. So if you are training anywhere from 2 to 3 days per week, let's say, I would say full body workouts would be your greatest advantage. If you are training anywhere from 4 to 6 days per week, that's when I would say you would want to split up your training into upper body or upper lower splits, or muscle group type sort of days. But what I would keep in mind with training, that amount of frequency per week is your recovery time and the amount of times you're actually hitting major muscle groups. So you want at a minimum want to hit all major muscle groups 2 times per week. So what that could look like is an upper lower body split. So you're doing upper body pull, upper body push, lower body knee dominant, lower body hip dominant movements multiple times per week. You can also split this up into more specific muscle groups. Let's say if you have a 6 to 7 day training split, but just keep in mind your recovery time. You definitely want to have, you know, at least a day in between, just to give that muscle group time to rest. But yeah, you can definitely split it up that way. The next thing after you figure out your training split, how many days per week you're going to train and all that, it's going to be your exercise selection. So this again is going to be dependent on obviously equipment availability and what your gym or what you have at home. But that's going to be based on how many days per week you can actually train. And then from there, picking rep schemes and rest periods, that is going to be based on your goal. So if you have more of like a fat loss or hypertrophy where you're trying to grow a muscle type goal, you're probably going to want to stay in anywhere from the 6 to 12 rep range. 6 is kind of leaning towards more of like the strength realm, but it's okay to include, you know, a little bit of that strength type training in your fat loss work as well. We're not getting too far away from, you know, the actual hypertrophy type training. And then the last thing I want to talk about is your actual progression from week to week. So with this, like I was saying, you want to make sure that you're progressing your workouts week to week on the training program that you're on, just so that your body is continually adapting to the exercise stimulus. So you can do this multiple ways. You could do this by actually adding load, so adding weight week to week to your actual exercises that you're doing. You could do it by adding reps. You could do it by decreasing the amount of rest time you have between exercises, or you could do it with tempo as well, so slowing down the movement week to week. But whatever you choose, just make sure you stick to that actual variable week to week, so you're not like switching up a whole bunch of different things week to week. Just pick one variable and try to make it a little bit harder from week to week. Again, I have all of this down in my free strength training guide, so if you want it written out for you verbatim, step by step, actually how to go about creating a strength training program for yourself, definitely check it out in the comments below. I also include a sample 3-day per week workout in there that you can definitely follow for, you know, 4 to 8 weeks and see some progress with that. Yeah, definitely check it out if you're looking for more guidance on strength training. So that's it for today. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, a like, please share with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, where I'm explaining all things training, mindset, lifestyle, all dedicated to women and strength training. And if you have a topic that you want me to cover, please let me know in the comments below. That's really helpful for me as well in creating content. So yeah, I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one. All right, peace. See ya.